All right, good afternoon, everybody. You're good? Okay. No losing pens. All right, today the COVID-19 public health emergency ends, and I want to take just a moment to talk about the important work that has happened under this administration to prepare the nation for the next phase of our response to COVID-19.
I'm on Vyvanse, which is the ADHD medicine, which has really helped with my energy and brain fog. And then these two are just my Effexor medicines, which I think is an SSRI. So I was prescribed that for the migraine. This is one that I started more recently, low dose naltrexone. This is my nausea medicine, which is a game changer. These are the salt pills I take. So I had POTS caused by long COVID. I have no idea what that one is. Okay, I have 353 L per minute. My name's Ella. I am 17 years old. I am a junior in high school and I live in New York City. I've had long COVID for about 2 years now. I guess some of the first symptoms I started experiencing were fatigue, headaches. I think I had my first migraine attack during that first month or so, and then heart palpitations. I had one episode at gymnastics when I had just taken a turn on the bars and I got down and it felt like my heart was like gonna jump out of my chest and I felt dizzy.
Now I want to watch all these, Ella. I think was it your second bout that was better? I don't know. We watch one more?
Sure.
That's a good vault.
Now even the noise of that video irritates. I know. Oh, I started when I was like 2. I was just doing like the mommy and me classes. And then I guess I just really enjoyed it. My older sister had started doing team at that time. And I think I started pre-team when I was like 4. And then by the time I was like 7, I was probably training like 20 hours a week.
Yeah, so it was a lot of years, a lot of training, all to get to the point where she could possibly be recruited for college gymnastics. I know, then she gets to the point and then, you know, this happens. So it's a little bit of a detour, but still a lot of good memories.
So this is our backyard paradise. I like to call it my alleyway backyard or my alleyway garden because it's about 15 feet wide. And actually we moved here 3 years ago and this was just a bunch of mud and broken glass. And we definitely wanted to be able to use the space. So we worked for a couple months and this was before the long COVID. So lifting bags of rocks and stuff and filled in all this little rock area. And we have our nice garden back here now. My name's Libby Young. We're in Warwick, New York. And I work for a conservation organization. So I first caught COVID in 2021. So I got it at the gym during an exercise class, which I was going a couple times a week, strength training. That was like a really big part of my life at that time. And then I started feeling better. So I tried to get back to exercise in my apartment. I just did like a workout video and I just like could not catch my breath. So here's my symptoms list. Initially, daily headaches, those have since left. altered sense of smell, disrupted sleep, joint pain, nausea, post-exertion malaise, fatigue.
She's pretty much textbook long COVID, and she didn't have anything else. So we knew it was long COVID, but it was just the journey navigating the medical system. Even if you would ask, like the cardiologist or the pulmonologist, do you understand long COVID? Have you treated other kids with long COVID? They'll all say yes.
No, but then you go, like you call ahead and then you go, oh, has like inhalers helped anyone with long COVID? Oh, well, I haven't actually ever seen a long COVID patient.
For a long time, there's really no formal diagnosis and there's really no criteria, I guess, still. However, it sort of started with me seeing my general practitioner here in town, who's lovely, but he didn't really know what was going on. So a urologist, because I was getting recurring urinary tract infections. He had no idea what was going on. A gynecologist.
Went to an herbalist, multiple acupuncturists, multiple weird massagists, infectious disease doctors,
several neurologists, endocrinologists, several endocrinologists, because the first one has no idea what they're talking about and is dismissive, and you got to see another one and another one.
We went to this one cardiologist, and I was having a pretty good day of like not having too bad of symptoms that day, and he comes in and he goes, and we're like, oh, we're just curious if I have POTS or not, 'cause if you search it up on Safari, it's like a change in heartbeat when you stand up, which I do have. And he's like, oh no, you don't have POTS. You're not slouched down on the table.
And then finally I found a woman general practitioner who is working on the Recover study at Mount Sinai. And she confirmed that yes, this was in line with other patients who have long COVID. And that was probably a year and a half into my illness.
Did you guys feel like you were kind of being gaslit about this? Or?
Yeah, that was one of the hardest parts of it. Really frustrating. You felt lost and alone and isolated.
There's two different types of doctors that I've encountered. There's doctors that don't understand long COVID but are willing to listen to me and to kind of like relate what's going on with me to other patients that they have. And they're great and helpful, and I still see those doctors. And then there's doctors who are like, I don't know what you're talking about, so it must not be real. Do you know where we are? You want to go sniff around? Okay, go. This is a great place because if I'm not feeling up for a full long walk, you know, there's a walking trail that goes around the whole complex, but we can just do like a little shorter walk or paddle or even just hang out like right in here. Can you sit? Very good, take it nicely. Can you spin? Wow. I would say usually I wake up and I know it's like not gonna be a good day. Just feel like I haven't slept, even if I have, you know, the unrested feeling. A lot of the times my marker is like how bad are my heart palpitations or like the tachycardia. So like if I feel like my heart is racing inappropriately, then I know something's off. I actually stop wearing my Fitbit every day because I feel like I can kind of just tell. Yeah, we're planning a canoe camping trip over Labor Day weekend, and she's coming. So I haven't been backpacking since I've had long COVID. So canoe camping seemed like a good sort of reintroduction because it won't involve carrying all of my stuff. Ava, there we go.
So I was trying to get recruited, which I guess would kind of be happening now, like in the middle of your junior year is when it happens for most people. Because I was at the level where I was high enough to be recruited. So I was emailing coaches and whatnot.
However, you say I'd have to give that up? Or is
Oh, definitely. I mean, committed like 15 years of my life to it, well, for just kind of to end in like a few months. But I definitely would enjoy to get back to it. I don't think to the same intensity, because then went to school, went straight to 4 hours of gymnastics, came home at 9:30, ate dinner, and then did homework from like 10 to 1:30 a.m.
It was trying to combine a rigorous schoolwork and a rigorous sport too much for her body, and was that what led up to Ella becoming susceptible to long COVID, because her body wasn't in a healthy state to kind of deal with COVID. So that's a theory.
We're going to be talking about an issue that has not gotten the attention that it deserves from the medical community, from the media, and certainly from members of Congress, and that is the crisis of long COVID.
It is a multi-system disorder that can affect nearly every organ system. It affects the brain, it affects the heart, it affects the endocrine system, it affects the immune system, it affects the GI system. Long COVID affects at least 20 million Americans. It affects people across the lifespan. We have kids with long COVID. We have people who are 100 years old with long COVID.
It is less common for younger kids to at least have long COVID that for this amount of years, for this amount of time. So I guess when you go to a doctor, they're like, really? You don't want to hear that you're the first patient of your kind that they've seen, because then you kind of just lose all hope there. Since I am still younger, sometimes I have a hard time advocating for myself with like teachers or like authority figures, so standing up for myself in that sense. Most of my teachers have been supportive, but you go to them, you're like, oh, like long COVID, but then they're like, they don't really know what that is. My one friend at school, I'm still friends with her, but like, she was like, oh, you're getting extra time on another assessment? You're really asking for another extension? Like, people just seem to be kind of like in their own world, because maybe I do seem okay at school.
Like, that has definitely been a repeated conversation in our home, if Ella was going to be able to continue in school, or she was going to have to miss a year and then make it up next year. Like, so we were having really big conversations about her ability to function.
You know, it's kind of like hard to explain it to people because it's not something that I had ever experienced before having long COVID. And I don't like over exaggerating. So I think it's maybe kind of hard for people to understand how bad I actually feel. I think there's been some just confusion around what do you, I didn't know you felt like that, or I didn't realize it was that bad, or whatever. But not because they're dismissing, but just because I truly think people don't understand what it feels like.
Far too many patients, and I think we're going to hear a lot about this morning, with long COVID have struggled to get their symptoms taken seriously. And far too many medical professionals have either dismissed or misdiagnosed their serious health problems. This crisis is made even worse by the fact that long COVID patients often require multiple specialists to treat their complex symptoms.
How do we treat long COVID? You've heard it before. There are zero approved medication for the treatment of long COVID. So these people have nothing to really lean on for curative treatment. Nothing, zero. Zero FDA approved medications for the treatment of long COVID.
These are the ones I got prescribed from a doctor. So I'm on Vyvanse, which is the ADHD medicine, which has really helped with my energy and brain fog. So that one has been a game changer. And then these two are just my Effexor medicines, which I think is an SSRI. So I was prescribed that for the migraines as a daily medication. I think it's been helping. It's like the 4th daily migraine medication I've tried. And then this is one that I started more recently, low dose naltrexone.
This has helped me kind of relieving some of my symptoms, particularly the fatigue and the brain fog, I think, has improved on low-dose naltrexone. This was prescribed to me by a doctor who is familiar with other patients that have long COVID and has been involved in some of the long COVID research. I know some people do also use it in water, and that way they can even control their dosage even more. So I still get fatigue and I still get post-exertion malaise, but when I get it, it's not as severe.
These are my probiotics, which are the ones my mom kind of picks out. But then some of the other ones are just, this one is for mitochondria support. Yeah, I think a lot of them are probiotics or just ones for migraines, because there's a lot of different types of vitamins. This one is called the Gamma Core. What you do is I put it right here, and then it stimulates the vagus nerve. I put this one on my ear, which is kind of a strange location. It goes right here on your forehead. Basically, you just put it around your back, and it just kind of shines a red light on your back. It will play some calming music for you, and you can just put it on your chest when you go to sleep, and it vibrates and once again stimulates the vagus nerve.
Basically, we got frustrated with regular medicine, with the doctor visits. They were offering us nothing. It was repeated visits, repeated nothing, leaving there with nothing, leaving there more discouraged. And then you just get on social media and people will say, I feel better. I'm 80% better. I'm 90% better. And then they list how they did it.
In the last 2.5 years, it's been probably a laundry list of stuff. I've tried chiropractic, I've tried acupuncture, hypnosis, meditation.
So there are a lot of patients, coming I tried coenzyme Q, I tried this, I tried that, I went to Germany to do XYZ, I'm trying sort of coagulants or blood thinners. So there's a lot and I don't want to endorse any of them, because I sort of feel that there are no trials really demonstrating that any of these things are 100% effective.
I've also tried every supplement under the sun, CoQ10 or resveratrol, quercetin, antihistamines. I have my little pill organizer here with all the many things that I'm currently taking.
What we really need is really large-scale trials to help us actually answer this question. This is a very important question. So if somebody has long COVID, what do they do? Does coenzyme Q work? Yeah, well, I think we need to know that, and we actually we have the right to know the answer to this.
It gets a little bit confusing, but I feel like none of these things are gonna harm me as long as I keep feeling better. That as long as I'm getting better, that was just kind of the priority. It seems to be the nature homeopathic ones are very critical of traditional doctors, and traditional doctors are critical of the homeopathic ones, but I think most of them, after seeing them for a few visits, they understood the disparity that we were in. So yeah. I guess 3 months ago, I took a medical leave from high school, from 11th grade. So since then, I've kind of been getting into a new schedule, and for the most part, it's helped with my chronic fatigue symptoms. But in terms of the headaches, those haven't really improved. Yeah, it was more, there was just a week when anytime I went to school, I would just start crying. I'd get near the building and I would just have a breakdown just because I did not want to enter the building. I was so exhausted, and it was just a cycle of kind of, I don't know, pushing myself.
So some new therapists Ella's working with, one is a self-hypnotist that we found, that it kind of helps with the mental retraining. So you can tell your body, to speak to your body positively and to use positive visualization.
I don't have my hypnosis notes in here.
What does that consist of? Or what is
I don't know. I guess this day he was having me talk to my subconscious, which is he would ask my subconscious questions like, can you ask your subconscious if she's willing to help you? So with the brain fog, I was told to send out a group of librarians into my brain to be kind of, helping me with my word recollection and just kind of working my brain. And so I had to ask my subconscious to control those librarians for me and to keep them moving at all hours of the day. This is my current project. I was working on it with my therapist. Well, she gave me the prompt. It's like a map and then challenges.
It looks like kind of Game of Thrones-ish.
Yeah, I've never actually seen Game of Thrones, but I guess that's the dragon on top of my school. That was my... I don't know, this was a dead end. It was supposed to be kind of a lot of like the medicines I've taken and stuff have kind of drawn me to a dead end.
Do you see like a light at the end of the tunnel?
Actually, you have to write. I'm writing about this in my essay I'm writing for my spiritual healing class, which is on Buddhist wisdom. I don't see the possibility of kind of returning to like 24 hours of gymnastics a week, which I guess is kind of the extreme of any situation, because once you get to college, like even that's not really sustainable, just when you're younger, I guess. But I don't know. Do I see a light at the end of the tunnel? I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. It's been a lot of this. So, I mean, I see myself getting better, yeah, but.
There were times when I was very worried it was never going to get better because we just didn't really know what it was. And there were times when I questioned whether I really could live my life like that forever. But the times when I did have relief gave me hope. Like that, okay, today I feel okay, so maybe that means I can feel okay again another day, and maybe it'll get better and better. And so far that has been the trajectory. I still have symptoms, I still have flares, but it's just not as like debilitating. It's not interrupting my life in the same way it was. I would say my biggest issue right now is calibrating how I live my life in the real world, with the risk of exposure. You have to always be kind of thinking about risk assessment, and it's exhausting. And then the fear of the unknown. I'd say that's the hardest thing for me right now.
So long COVID is only a consequence of COVID-19. So the best way to prevent long COVID is to prevent COVID in the first place. So really common sense measures that we know how to prevent it. Masking works. Cleaning the air really works. So investing in ventilation and air filtration systems to clean indoor air in buildings, that also works. Accelerating the development of vaccines. So we envision it as a multi-pronged approach. It's not one solution, one thing is going to really fully protect society or an individual. It's multiple layers. All of these layers will reduce the probability of one getting COVID-19 and subsequently getting long COVID.
So we've lived in this apartment since before Ella was born, so right by this playground here. And we spent many hours here. We'd come 2 or 3 times a day just to have them run around and get their energy out and run through the water.
They renovated it, but it used to have monkey bars, and I vividly remember like climbing to the top of them and like standing on top of the monkey bars or like hanging by my knees. I guess the biggest issue now is just kind of the headache. The migraine attacks have gone down in frequency, which is good, but the daily headache is still there, unfortunately. I had my cardiac PT this morning. It's at like a cardio rehabilitation center at Mount Sinai. A lot of the people there, most of the other people there are like older and recovering from like heart surgeries, so.
You're kind of becoming an old soul with this
Yeah, I know. My grandpa was like, hey, I also have a pill case when he came to visit.
Ella has been like a wise old soul because she's been really good about focusing on what she can change, like trying to, do the best she can each day.
You both seem very, very fatigued by this.
Yeah,
It's been a long journey.
we don't want to talk about it anymore. Like I was reading books on long COVID, like at night, and I was like, I don't want to think. I just want to like ease into like thinking about other things.
I don't know. I guess there are a lot of people out there like me who do kind of just have lingering symptoms from long COVID, but like, I don't know, just weird. Like, if like whenever the issues go away, if it's just by time, and it's like it's still unclear if like the virus is still inside you. I don't know, like, but I guess, I don't know.